Hi everybody, GL Mako here. Just wanted to take a shot at doing a unit review today. I'm going to pick my current favorite unit, which you see here is Loren, Lorraine in JP, if you will. So this is a 5 to 7 star base, swordsman, physical attacker, debuffer, rare summon. In JP, she's hiding behind a paywall, so you have to buy lappies to get her. She's not time limited, not exclusive. She's from FFBE. She is female. Race is human. And you have her TMR, which is Awesome Swordsman, and you have her STMR, which is Chrome's Fiend. So let's see. It's a knight captain, once known in Grand Shelt as the Twin Blade General. Being already retired outside of being strict on her successive knights, she seems to be acquainted with Rain's father, Reagan. After the attack of the Veritas, she became curious about their movements, only to appear as her youthful self. So, we'll look at her stats here. She's capable of fairly high attack, and most people right now, I think, are using her as a breaker and a debuffer in terms of imperiling the enemy. That's how I'm using her. You can see she has no innate resistances, and there is one equipment. I don't use it anymore, but it is defense plus 3, HP plus 15%, attack plus 15%, and Knight of Grand Shelt, Loren only. So we're going to take a look at her innate abilities. At her 5 star, she gets Unhesitating Will, increases attack, defense, mag, and spirit resistance 100% for 3 turns to the caster, so she cannot be broken if she uses that. And we have Pressure, remove all status effects from all enemies. Armor Eraser, decreases defense and spirit by 45% for 3 turns to all enemies. Arms Eraser is the other side, that's attack and mag 45%. Barrage we'll just skip over. Full Break Plus, physical attack 1.5 times to one enemy, and a 45% break for 3 turns to one enemy. Onto her 6 star, she gets Blade Prison, physical 4 times to one enemy, physical attack 4 times modifier. Then she gets Model of Ares, attack, defense is increased by 50% for 4 turns to the caster. Enables skills for 4 turns to the caster, which is Grease Lightning, Quick Bolt Blade, and Swift Wind Blade. Then moving on to her 7 star, she has High Voltage Twin Blade. It's lightning physical damage with a 6 times modifier to one enemy. Decreased lightning resistance for 65% to one enemy, so that's quite a nice imperil. And that chains with Onion Knight with his Onion Slice ability. Dazzling Twin Blade is the same exact thing, except it's light. And Tempestuous Twin Blade is wind. So she can imperil all 3 of those, and chain with Onion Knight when necessary. And then we have her cooldown ability. It's called General's Manifesto, a 7 star, level 110. 6 turns cooldown, available on turn 1. It's decrease attack, defense, mag, and spirit by 70% for 3 turns to all enemies. So it's quite a nice break. And then they have lightning and wind. I'm sorry, that's Tempest Flash. This chains with Oriole Ray, so that is Lunara. Lightning and wind physical damage 6.2 times to all enemies. So you could imperil that with the abilities above, and then you can do some extra damage by using Tempest Flash. Let's see. So these are her passives. She has Twin Blade General, increase attack, defense, and spirit by 30%. Enable dual wielding of one-handed weapons, so she gets that just on her own. She's auto dual wield. She has increased HP by 30%, recover 5% of her MP per turn. Leader of Knights, increase resistance to blind, paralyze, petrify. Gap Closer, chance to counter physical attacks 20% with full break. So if she gets hit, she has a chance to return a break to all the enemy's stats if they're breakable. Unbreakable Heart, increased defense and spirit to 100% when HP drops below 30%. So it's kind of a survival thing. Sword Mastery, increases attack 50% with a sword. She has auto regen, 60 HP, and then a 1.2 times multiplier per turn. She has High Tide, increases LB gauge fill rate by 100%. She has Glory of Ares. This requires her TMR to be equipped. It increases LB gauge by 2 crystals per turn, and then it increases attack by 50% when dual wielding, and then upgrade LB. So it makes her LB really, really strong, which is awesome. And I'll cover that a little bit later. She has Dagger Mastery, so increase 50% with a dagger. She has Katana Mastery, increase 50% with a katana. She has Large Sword Mastery, increase 50% with a great sword. And then she has MP plus 20%. And then Twin Blade Secret Arts, so she's increasing all of her modifiers here. She has 2.4 times to Blade Prison. She has 2.3 times to Swift Wind Blade, 1.25 times to Quick Bolt Blade, and 1.1 times to Greased Lightning. So, okay, now these are conditional. So this is the Gap Closer. That one is where she counters with a break. And then activated by Model of Ares in Kingdom's Order, which is her LB. We have Swift Wind Blade, which is wind physical damage 4.5x to one enemy. Quick Bolt Blade, lightning physical damage 2.25x with ignore defense 50% to one enemy. And Grease Lightning is physical damage 2.5x with ignore defense 50% to one enemy. Okay, so these are her ability awakenings. She increases her armor eraser from 45% to 50%, and then from 4 turns to 5 turns. Arms eraser is the same thing, just breaks attack and mag. Full break goes from 45% to 50%, and goes from 4 turns to 5 turns. Twin Blade General increases HP and MP at the +2 level by 20%, and then attack by 60%, and defense and spirit by 30%. So that is quite a nice buff for her, and then enables the dual wielding of one-handed weapons, which that is a passive for her, but it is worth upgrading by far. So then we're going to look at her LB Kingdom's Order. I'm just going to go to the 7-star upgraded version. Well, we'll compare them. We have physical, or at the max, we have physical damage 7.5x with ignore defense 50% to all enemies. Decreased lightning and wind resistance by 79% for 3 turns to all enemies. And then enable skills for 4 turns to the caster, which is Grease Lightning, Quick Bolt Blade, and Swift Wind Blade. So now if you look at our upgraded one, it's even better. This is, let's see. Yeah, so this is adding a stat break and increasing the physical modifier, and then it also adds a light imperil. So it's very much worth using her TMR with her build. So it's going to be physical damage 8.5 times multiplier with ignore defense 50% to all enemies. Decrease lightning, wind, and light by 79% for 3 turns to all enemies. And then decrease attack, defense, mag, and spirit by 74% for 3 turns to all enemies. And then enables those 3 skills, the Grease Lightning, Quick Bolt Blade, and Swift Wind Blade. So she is a crazy breaker at this level. She's really, really good. So if you have her, I highly recommend going to 7 stars right away and maxing her out. She will make a lot of content very easy for you. You can see her awakening materials here. She has the Prismatic Horn, Fairy's Writ, Rainbow Bloom, Calamity Gem, Defying Crystals, and 4,000 gil. And then you need Loren's 7-star Prism and 3 million gil to awaken to the 7-star form. Max her LB out as fast as you possibly can. She's amazing. And let's see. So, did I miss her TMR? I think I did. Weird. I thought her TMR was on this page. Huh. Alright. It's probably up a little higher. Okay, yeah. So, Awesome Swordsman. This is her TMR. This is the special ability passive, enable dual wielding of one-handed weapons, which she gets that as a passive anyway, so she's going to be able to do that regardless. This increases her attack by 15% with a katana, sword, dagger, and greatsword, and that is her regular trust mastery. It also enables her to break harder and imperil, so you definitely want to use it on her even though it's only 15%. And then Chrome's Fiend is her super TMR. This is a great sword crafted by a well-known smith. The blade is fitted with a green gem. The sword is very sharp, and only those who have mastered the art of the sword can use it properly. The sword became popular after word spread that a certain female knight of Grandshelt, known as the Twin Blade General, used it in battle. So it's a weapon. It's a great sword. It's non-elemental. There's no resistances and no additional effects. It has attack 170, which is quite high. And then it has defense plus 20 and spirit plus 20. And this is her super trust mastery, so you will need 4 copies to get it until they release STMR Moogles, which are in Japan, so we should get them at some point. I don't know when. But that is Loren, and if you have any questions, please let me know. I use her in game all the time. I'll just show you real quick. This is how my build for her looks. I think this one's up to date. I am currently at 1940 attack with her. I'm using Tonitrus as an elemental weapon. You want to use either lightning, wind, or light weapons with her. I can bump her up higher if I give her my Orlando TMR. Right now it's on Hio, but she's pretty dang strong where she's at right now. So, and then I'm using a black cowl. I've only got one pre-share pin at the moment, so I'm using that on Hio. I'm using Dark Lord's armor, which is Veritas of the Dark's STMR. Lucid Lenses is Queen's STMR, and Starguard is the TMR for the, I forget his name now, Arngrim, from one of our limited time events, Valkyrie Profile. So that has a nice counter ability, which I like, and it gives her a little bit of light resistance. And then we have Awesome Swordsman. I use Adventurer 5, Sworn 6's Pride Dark, and Dark Knight's Soul, just to increase her attack up. So on my team, she's functioning as a breaker and as occasional DPS, mostly to imperil for Hio, and then break stats. But once she's on your team, she's amazing. So get her, if at all possible. I highly recommend getting her, through UOC. If you want to consider doing it that way, you definitely can. She's amazing. So that's all I've got to say about Loren. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Get at me on Facebook if you have any questions. And I'm in the FFBE global group. And I will talk to you later.